Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? I'm doing good. Bear with me just 1 second. I'm trying to set up my podcast, so bear with me 1 second while I'm doing that. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing good. Welcome to my channels. I'm your host, Coach TJ. Welcome to my channels. If you guys like the commentary and you want to hear more, then please hit the like, subscribe, and notification button to receive notifications of my videos. I am a certified recovery life coach that's all about helping people on their paths, their journeys, and their purpose to a new and better you. Now, my whole purpose of me doing this particular life coaching channel is to help people when it comes to different versions of recovery. Now, this particular one is from darkness to light. And what that means is a lot of people right now are in darkness and they don't know how to go about getting out of the darkness and how to get into the light. And you remember in Poltergeist, it says, "Don't go into the light, Carol Ann." And there was a reason why they were saying that when it comes to her going into the light, because when she went to the light, she ended up going into a poltergeist, and the poltergeist used the television in order to pull her in. Whereas in real life, it's kind of like the opposite effect. So give me 1 second, y'all. I gotta do this podcast. If it works. For some reason it's not working today. But anyway, like I said, we all have our things that we have to deal with and we have to go with. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this podcast and add it on to my podcast when I get finished. Now, with today's topic, I know it's been a while since I've been on here, first of all, and it's been a minute. That's because I've been going through some medical issues, and I really wanted to take a break to focus on that. And not only that, I'm sorry, y'all. I've been having technical difficulties for the past couple of days. Sorry, y'all. Now, the one thing about this podcast is I don't want this podcast to be perfect because I don't. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody goes through something. Everybody has to deal with something. And so I don't feel that I'm any different. If I sit here and I make my podcast perfect, do you know I'll never learn from anything? I'll just continue making the same mistakes over and over and over again. And I'm just not becoming a better person. Now, even as a life coach myself, there are things that I have to recover from. There are things that I have to deal with. There are things that I have to, you know, come to terms with and accept. So right now I'm currently in a sabbatical. Right now I'm in a sabbatical where I am basically essentially going through a financial sabbatical. I'm also going through an emotional, mental, and psychological sabbatical. Now, I had this technical difficulty. I could have just as easily said, you know what? I'm just going to stop it and start over and just do a whole nother thing all over again. But why? Why would I do that? Why, just because it technically went out, should I have to start over when I can just keep going? And that's just something we don't do in life. We'll go through something, and instead of accepting the fact that it's not supposed to be perfect, and that we're human beings and we make mistakes, we just go and decide we're just gonna scrap it, throw it away, and do something else. But we never finish what we start. Now, the old version of myself would have been on some, I'm just gonna take it down. I'm not going to, I'm gonna delete it, copy and paste it, and then start over. But the new version of me is like, absolutely not. I'm gonna leave it. Why? Because how in the world am I supposed to learn from my mistakes if I don't actually keep whatever mistake I made up there? See, the new version of me is okay with not being perfect. The new version of me is okay with making mistakes. The new version of me is okay with embarrassing moments. They don't really bother me too much. But I can't say that for everybody. So when it comes to doing certain things, you're not going to be perfect. Nobody is. There's not one person in this world that is better than you because they have more money than you, because they have more cars than you, more women than you, more men than you. They have, a better house than you, a better car than you. So yeah, externally, yeah, they're better than you in that aspect, but internally, they can never handle what you deal with. So this particular, episode is all about something that's really, really, really important. Do you want to remain the same and be the same version of yourself that keeps going through the same thing over and over and over again, doing the same thing repetitively and getting the same results? Or do you want to be a new version of yourself where you're getting better results, newer results, where you grow, you evolve, you elevate to become a new and better version of yourself? Which one do you want? It's just like right now. I probably would do this video and post it. And I promise you, I probably would not get as many people to watch it. Why? Because you can't see me. That's the first thing. You have no idea what I look like. Second reason why is because if you were to see me, I ain't drop dead gorgeous and I ain't running around shaking my behind. So of course, you're not going to watch me. Of course not. Because you can't see me. So at the end of the day, the fact that you got people out here that judge people on the external part of a person, not the internal part of themselves, but the external. So when it comes to the old version of yourself, a lot of y'all keep thinking it's about the physical part of you, but not the mental and emotional part of you. Now, some of y'all may be drop dead gorgeous and may be perfect on the outside. Some of y'all got big, gigantic feet too. Some of y'all, even though you might be very attractive, some of y'all got some messed up feet from them godforsaken, what's the names, from them heels y'all be wearing. At the end of the day, like I said, you gonna have, the old version of yourself saying, well, let's go do this. Let's just say you keep dating the same people and you don't understand why you're dating the same people that you dated 20 years ago, and you have no understanding why it is that you keep ending up with the same type of men and you have no idea why. That's like saying you got men that date the same type of women and they don't know why, and they keep being bombarded with the same type of people. So, how is it that you are being bombarded with the same type of people? How is it that you keep getting your heart broken by different looking people, but the same mental mentality? The same ones don't want a relationship. The same ones don't want to get married. The same ones are just not into you. But yet, you're trying to convince them of why you should be together. You're up here jumping through hoops trying to get these men to date you, trying to get these men to be in some type of relationship with you, and they actually don't want to. So if you're still dealing with the same type of men, then we have a very serious problem here. Okay? A very, very, very serious problem that needs to be addressed. Because even though you may be trying to get away from these same type of people, that don't mean you're still not gonna meet them. So even if you went from someone that worked at McDonald's and Hardee's to dating someone that is a baller, that's worth thousands upon millions upon billions of dollars, and yet they treat you the same way. So don't think because men have money that they're not going to treat you the same as a man that works at McDonald's, because that is exactly what that is. So you're going to have people, in all honesty, that may or may not agree with what it is you're trying to do, or you're going to be dating and being friends with the same type of people. Why? Because you haven't changed. See, you want to be Captain Save-A-Ho, Build-A-Bear, Build-A-Dolls, seed fillers. You want to try to get these people on your level. Excuse me, not understanding these people are not supposed to be on your level. Just because you're doing well doesn't mean you have to bring everybody else with you, because you don't have to bring everybody with you if you don't want to. Okay? So if you don't want to bring everybody with you, why should you? Now, the old version of yourself is the version of yourself that, number one, is inexperienced. Number one. Number two, you're constantly going through the same thing over and over and over again because you haven't advanced yourself to something new. You haven't grown, you haven't evolved, and you certainly have not elevated. And when you have not grown, evolved, matured, elevated, and look at things differently, then you're going to be dealing with the same type of people. People that you wish to God you never messed with in the first place. Now, at the end of the day, change comes with growth. So if you don't change and you don't understand, in order to be a better person, you have to grow and you got to elevate and you got to evolve, then that's going to be sucky for you. Now, as a life coach, I always try to tell people that if you continue going down the rabbit hole and following the rabbit down the rabbit hole, then guess what happens? You're going to end up meeting the Queen of Hearts and the Mad Hatter. Now, when you get down to Wonderland, yeah, in the beginning it seems very beautiful and seem like a place that you just don't want to leave. But then as you continue down the rabbit hole and down to Wonderland, you're going to find out Wonderland ain't everything you think it's going to be. And then after you go through Wonderland and you start going through the dark side of Wonderland, then you're going to encounter the Mad Hatter. Now, the Cheshire Cat tried to warn you not to go down there and turn around and go back, but nope. You want to continue down the rabbit hole and continue going down the crazy situation that you seem to want to go down. And then when you get down there and it ain't everything that you cracked up is cracked up to be, now you want to go home, and now you want to, wish to God you never went down the rabbit hole in the first place. Well, you made a choice to go down the rabbit hole, but nobody told you to go. You didn't have to go down the rabbit hole. You could have just as easily just said, no, I ain't going. I don't care if you see a talking rabbit or not. You don't have to go down the rabbit hole. And some people go down the rabbit hole and they never return. They are pretty much stuck down there. So at the end of the day, like I said, just because you see everybody else doing something doesn't mean it's meant for you to do. Just because somebody got a man and they're happy doesn't mean you're going to have one. See, what I've learned in this sabbatical is not everybody's going to have a boyfriend. Not everybody's going to be married. Not everybody's going to be in a relationship. Some people are going to be alone because they don't fit society's standards, number one. And number two, it's going to be really hard for them to find somebody because they're going to have friends and family telling them, oh, you shouldn't be with her. Oh, you shouldn't be with him. He's broke. Oh, you shouldn't be with her because she's fat and she's unattractive. And eventually that person going to feed into that and then dump you. So that's the way I look at the situation. Because at the end of the day, when it comes down to the old version of yourself versus the new version of yourself, how are you supposed to become the new version of yourself and you keep going through the same thing over and over and over again? You keep messing with the same type of people. You keep befriending the same type of people. And even though at the time you may not realize it, but when you get older and you get with a life coach, just a recovered life coach, oh, you don't realize it then. Because we start going through these past situations with these past ex-friends, family members, exes, and past jobs, and where you stay, you're going to find out all these people are pretty much the same type of people. So you need to be mindful of that. Another thing you got to be mindful of is not everybody is your friend either. Some of y'all don't understand the reason you're continuously becoming used or being used is because you sit up here and you show everybody what you got. And because you're showing everybody what you got, now you're being robbed. Now you got people around you because you're taking pictures on Instagram and you're wanting attention. So sometimes not every attention is good attention. I'm telling you that now. Some attention needs to be left alone. But the journey is not easy. And it is hard. Trust me, it's very difficult. But when you talking about trying to figure out whether you want to stay the same or whether you want to change, that comes with I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of being the same person I was 20 years ago. When you look back on your life, you're like, what in the world was I thinking? How in the world did I get here? I shouldn't even be in this situation, but yet I am. So, like I said, the old version of yourself is the version of yourself that never wants to do better. You want to continue going through the same thing over and over and over again. Whereas the new version of yourself, you ain't trying to go through it at all. You be like, okay, it's whatever. I don't care. So there's a difference. So when it comes down to the old version of yourself versus the new version of yourself, just understand that the old version of yourself is the version of yourself that didn't have any experience. The more you go through something, the more experience you should have. And the more you should be using your thoughts versus your emotions. Because your emotions ain't going to do nothing but get you in trouble. So, like I said, I don't want to keep too much of your time, but I just wanted to come on here and just give y'all an introduction of what my sabbatical has been like. But what I've learned the past couple days during my sabbatical, I pretty much, this week of my sabbatical is a Sabbath week. And that is when it's all about resting, it's all about getting enough sleep. It's about pretty much resting instead of being on social media all day, every day, taking a break from it. It's also about start in the beginning stages of breaking habits. It's all about making sure I don't cross the line or do anything that's going to jeopardize my sabbatical. So sabbatical is pretty much rest. Jesus took a whole year off. We're supposed to have a year every 7 years where people are allowed to take a sabbatical, or a Sabbath break. People think a sabbatical break or a Sabbath break should be, like, for example, it should be just a weekend. No, it should be a whole entire godforsaken week where everything shuts down and everybody knows that the Sabbath is coming, so that way nobody's driving, nobody's doing nothing. Everybody is pretty much in one place. And everybody's able to take some time for themselves to just breathe. Even during Hanukkah, even during that time, everybody takes 7 days off and just, focus on Hanukkah. You have a lot of people that when they have festivals, they take everything, and I do mean everything, is shut down except the festival. But yet and still, you got people out here that don't want that to happen, even though that's supposed to be what it's supposed to be. So every 7 years, you're supposed to do a number of things. But like I said, everything's supposed to shut down for 7 days. But that ain't never going to happen, because people ain't going to allow it to happen where people can take an extra week off to be able to do whatever it is they want to do. So at the end of the day, like I said, everything shuts down. That means you don't go nowhere. You're actually at home. You're actually at home. You're resting. You're exercising. You're pretty much going to mass. If you're at home, then you're doing it from home. That's pretty much what you're doing. So a sabbatical is when you take some time away, whether it be a mental health, psychological health, whether it be dieting, exercise. You are now basically taking a break from everything to figure out what your next move is, what your purpose is, and how you want to go about doing it. It's also about learning from your mistakes and growing from your mistakes and evolving to become better people. Stuff like this happens. So yeah, that's the way that works. So with that being said, I'm going to give me some sleep and just rest because I'm tired. I was gonna do my podcast, but unfortunately, I'm having technical difficulties. So, like I said, I'm not making anything perfect, because let me tell you why I'm not making it perfect. Again, I can't learn from my mistakes if I just sit up here and just edit something and then I don't get to see where I went wrong and I'm still doing the same thing. Plus, it gives people to see a chance to see your progression. They get to see how you have grown from this to that. So I get it. So, like I said, are these journeys easy? Nope. And every day, to get better, you got to learn from your mistakes. And you got to learn that even though somebody wronged you and even though you didn't do anything, you're the person that brought that person into your life. And you should have known based upon the signs that God gave you that something wasn't right. But nope, you chose to deal with them anyway. So you got to take everything that pretty much come with that. So, like I said, whatever you choose and whoever you choose to deal with, understand whatever it is they get you involved in, you better be ready to take everything that come with it, because you don't know what that person is bringing to the table. You don't know what the world that person got in store for you. You really don't know. A lot of y'all be running around chasing behind people, not understanding these same people you chasing behind really don't care about you in the first place. If anything, they're gonna destroy your whole entire existence. So I get it. I do. I really understand it. Don't think I don't. But a part of recovery is realizing you allowed negative people into your peace and quiet stage, letting people into your estate that don't belong. So again, So, but like I said, we shall see. But I am about to go to bed because I'm tired. It's been a long day. I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Hope everything goes well. But I just wanted to come on here right quick and just say to y'all, let go of the past. The past is exactly that, the past. And every time you sit still, every time we go to bed, time still moves. Time is going to move whether you want it to move, whether you don't want it to move. It is still going to move no matter what. So you may think this person going to forgive you, or they're not. So I get it. So with that being said, I am about to go lay down and get some sleep. But I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I have to get another colonoscopy done. I have a few things I got to get done. But I hope you guys, while I'm on this journey, get to, check it out. But I just didn't feel like being seen today. I just want to chill today. But I hope this gives you inspiration, and I hope this gives you a better understanding of not only myself, but the other people that you'll be bringing up or whatever. With that being said, like I said, I'm off to bed because I'm exhausted and I have a doctor's appointment at 10 o'clock tomorrow. And then I have somewhere else I gotta be at 1 o'clock. So I'm gonna try to get as much rest as I can. Cause I told y'all this is a Sabbath day. And a Sabbath day is a day or the amount of time of rest period. And there's nothing wrong with having a rest period. Some of y'all act like y'all can't sit your butts down somewhere for not even 5 minutes just to sit still. Y'all don't know how important it is. I'm not saying you shouldn't move around because you lose muscle mass if you don't. If you're somebody who has chronic pain, you definitely need to be moving around. But at the same time, your happiness begins and ends with you. Just like my happiness begins and ends with me. So, so with that being said, I am off to bed. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all. But don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button. Receive notification of my videos. There will be a part 2 to this episode, and I will be going more in detail with so so my throat hurts. So I've been having issues with my thyroid on the side of my throat. So sometimes if you hear me stop, that's because my throat is hurting, and I have to wait a couple seconds to be able to get it back to normal. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for joining me for this episode. I am Coach TJ. If you guys want to basically send me like a dear Abby letter or dear John letter based upon the topics that I talk about on this lives or videos in general, you can email me at what is it? Take me as I am life coaching at gmail.com. All one word. Take me as I am life coaching at gmail.com. So just basically send me an email if you want to be a guest on my podcast. You can also send me an email as well. Like I said, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, you can email me there as well. So I really look forward to meeting you guys and really having a real good conversation. So with that being said, I am about to go get me some rest and go to bed. But I really do thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. So I will see you guys next time. And may peace be with you and may God bless you on your journeys But like I said, let go of the past, because who you are now cannot be the person who you are then. You got to change. You don't change, you're going to continue going through the same thing over and over and over again. But then again, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So, that being said, I'm out of here. Have a great night, y'all.